Essay on Deforestation. You have been listening about deforestation, but you may not know on what scale this is happening. Today I will give you an exact idea at what level this deforestation is happening. What are the causes and effects of deforestation? Agricultural extension. Changes in deforestation and agricultural plantations are a major cause of deforestation. The increase in global demand for commodities such as palm oil and soybeans is driving industrial-scale producers to clear forests at an alarming rate. What is the most common cause of deforestation? Damage to trees and other vegetation can cause climate change, desertification, soil erosion, reduced cropping, flooding, increased greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and a host of problems for indigenous people. What are the 5 effects of deforestation? Effects of deforestation. Soil erosion destruction. Soils and the nutrients in them are exposed to the heat of the sun. The water cycle. When forests are destroyed, the atmosphere, water body and water table are all affected. Loss of biodiversity. Climate change. Also read, Why Trees Are Important. Essay about trees. What are the disadvantages of deforestation? Deforestation losses are carbon dioxide emissions and soil erosion as well as the destruction of forest habitat and loss of biological diversity of both plants and animals. We humans are cutting 0.13% of trees each and every year from the total amount of trees on the earth. With the speed humanity needs about 18,000 years more to destroy them completely. 18,000 years sounds a long span, right, but this man appears long from an eye of a human. This trees and forest first emerged 400 million years ago, and considering this span of their lifetime, 18,000 years is nothing for them if in 1,000 years at just 0.0045% of their existence on Earth. To get more clarity, so let's take a human being, for example. His average life is 66 years, but let's consider it 80 years for now, and if you calculate a 0.04 or 5% of 80 years of any person's lifespan, that is just a single day. It is like you just opened your eye then you got killed. Does the world forest? What its role in humans' life? For most of us, forests are the place where you go on weekends and picnics, get relaxed. For some it is the place to experience adventure and to explore wildlife, but we have somewhere forgotten that forests are one of the most important natural filters and producers of oxygen, which is most essential for humans. For any other patient to survive, a single tree produces 100 kilograms of oxygen per year on average, and the humans require 740 kilograms of oxygen per year on average. By this calculation, one person needs 6 to 9 trees to remain alive. Humans, of course, are not alone in requiring oxygen to sustain life. The decline in the total forest cover area contributes to the extinction of animals and bird species. Since 1998, the number of threatened species of plants and animals have increased by more than 120%, from 10,000 to 23,000 species. We know that popularity and use of wood as a material in building construction and other manufacturing is increasing day by day, and this results in deforestation, and the volume of forest coverage is reducing year after year. The World Bank statistics from 1990 to 2015 yielding a loss of 1.3 million square kilometers of the forest area. But how much exactly is that area? A person needs 1 square meter of space to stand easily, that is 1 meter by 1 meter, and as the base of one tree will consume similar space. And if we calculate accordingly, in 25 years we have killed 1.3 trillion trees. That is 1/1300 billion trees. It is like killing 1,300 billion number of people. This amount of people were never born or never ever will be born on this earth. And to kill 1,300 billion people, you will have to kill entire human population on earth almost 200 times. 1.3 million kilometers of destruction is like destroying 1,700 cities the size of New York City. In 2015, 89 countries reported a total decrease in the rainforest area during the 25 years of WEARD, whereas 80 reported again and 37 reported no change. With an increase of computer users, emails and internet, we think we are going paperless, but in last 5 years the paper industry is growing by 3.5%, and altogether result of this is global warming. We know CO2 emission from cars and industries call electricity generations, and we think grease helps to absorb that CO2, which helps reduce global warming. That's true, but you may not know, and please occur down the stored carbon dioxide increase are released into the atmosphere. So the rate of deforestation doesn't only reduce protection from CO2, it actually increases CO2 into the atmosphere, and this CO2 will engulf greenhouse effects from the source and contributes to global warming. When we talk about CO2 emission, we should know the top countries which are contributing to this situation the most. The number one CO2 emitting country in China, which emits 30% of total emission. Then comes the United States with a 15%. After that comes European Union with 10% emission, followed by India and Russia with the emission of 7 and 5% respectively. These top 5 countries emit almost 70% of total CO2 emission of the world, and the rest of the world emits 30%. And to contradict that, 4 of the top 5 CO2 emitting countries are also the top 4 countries who have expanded their forest coverage in last 25 years. Isn't it? Bit strange. Where China is on top, the forest coverage expansion of 500,000 square kilometers. On the second position in the United States with 76,000 square kilometers, followed by India, Russia and Vietnam. The difference between the top of the list, China, and the second top, United States, is really massive. By China expanded by 500,000 square kilometers and United States expanded with just 14% of China's expansion. Even if you combine the rest of the top 4 countries, that area is just 50% of single China. But how did China do that is an entirely different topic to study. But for now, let's see the top countries who reduced their forest coverage in the last 25 years. Top of the list is Brazil with a loss of 500,000 square kilometers, followed by Indonesia, Sudan, Nigeria, and Myanmar. One interesting fact is the amount of area expanded by the country which tops the forest expansion list. Almost the same amount of area is lost by the country which stops the forests reduction list, but that is just the top of the list countries. When it comes to the world as a whole, these are already lost 1.3 million square kilometers from what we had 25 years ago, and we have increased CO2 emission by 13.5 million kilotons in last 25 years altogether. World as a whole and every individual need to take deforestation and global warming seriously. Until we find some other planet, we need to protect what we already have. Thank you so much.